When you think of England, you might picture castles, royalty, tea, and the charming British accent. But beneath that glossy surface, England has a dark and brutal past. In this video, we're diving into the grim history that textbooks often gloss over. Warning, it's not pretty. Let's start in 1066, with one of the bloodiest battles in English history, the Battle of Hastings. This was more than just a military defeat. It was a brutal shift in power, leading to mass slaughter, pillaging, and a reign of terror by the Normans. The people? They were at the mercy of a foreign king who barely spoke their language. Fast forward to 1348. The Black Death, also known as the bubonic plague, wiped out nearly half of England's population. In the chaos, people turned to superstition, executing anyone they suspected of witchcraft, poisoning, or simply bad luck. Doctors wore these creepy bird masks, which did absolutely nothing to stop the spread. They thought stuffing the beak with herbs would somehow keep out the disease. Spoiler, it didn't. Let's talk about a favorite pastime in Old England: public executions. The Tower of London wasn't just a tourist spot, it was a place of horror. Nobles, commoners, and even children were publicly executed to entertain the masses. Beheadings were so common, they were practically scheduled events. Imagine if Netflix existed back then. New season of The Tudors. Nah, I'm off to watch someone lose their head live in the square. Ah yes, Henry VIII, England's most infamous king. Known for his 6 wives, 2 of whom he sent to the chopping block when they didn't produce a male heir. His reign was marked by cruelty, tyranny, and a religious upheaval that left England divided for centuries. Nothing says good king like chopping off your wife's head for not giving you a son, right? But perhaps the darkest chapter in England's history is its role in the transatlantic slave trade. For centuries, England built its wealth on the backs of enslaved people. From the plantations in the Caribbean to the factories in England, the exploitation of human lives was justified under the banner of empire. Today, the legacy of this dark past still lingers, as people grapple with the monuments of colonialism that continue to stand in cities across England. Fast forward to the Victorian era. While England was rapidly industrializing and becoming a global superpower, the poor were trapped in a nightmare of workhouses and child labor. Children as young as 5 were forced to work in dangerous factories and mines, while their families lived in overcrowded, disease-ridden slums. Forget Hogwarts. This was the real childhood experience for many. Climbing inside chimneys, choking on soot, and getting paid pennies. Fun, right? At its height, the British Empire ruled over a quarter of the world, but this wasn't some peaceful spreading of civilization. It was built on oppression, exploitation, and violence. From the brutal colonization of India to the suppression of uprisings in Africa, the empire left a trail of blood and destruction wherever it went. The cost? Millions of lives lost and entire cultures erased. While England has given the world incredible achievements, Shakespeare, the Industrial Revolution, and the Beatles, it's important to remember the darker side of its history, because the past isn't just something we can leave behind, its impact is still felt today. So the next time you visit England, take a moment to think about the stories that didn't make it into the history books. Want more dark history? Hit that subscribe button and join us as we uncover the truths behind the world's most famous countries.